On 4th January this year, a murder was reported in Nairobi, and the details of this murder would indicate the victim was the high-profile lady. This is the murder story of Starlet Wahu. Starlet Wahu was a young girl, a socialite, an influencer, and a daughter to a very prominent pastor by the name Pastor Kanyari. On 1st January 2024, she received a call from a new number, and this new number would be of a person by the name John Matara. This person indicated that he had got the number from a dating site by the name Bed Escorts. After receiving this call, Starlet Wahu would proceed to talk over with John Matara and later on agree to meet on 3rd of January 2024 at an Airbnb by the name Papilo Apartments. John Matara would later on proceed to call the owner of the apartment, make the necessary payments, and on 3rd evening around 6 p.m, the watchman to that apartment would indicate seeing John Matara waiting for a visitor. Starlet Wahu would later on arrive at around 7 p.m. and would be captured by the cameras proceeding to their apartment. However, at 7 p.m, John Matara would be recorded leaving the apartment alone, this time with a towel on his neck. The watchman to the apartment would later on indicate that the towel had some blood stains, and this would later on raise more suspicions that led to the watchman and other people heading to the apartment and trying to locate the second person. On reaching that apartment, they later on find blood stains at the door of the apartment. They would try calling out for Starlet Wahu, but no one responded. Due to that, they would immediately call the police officers and proceed to break into the apartment. On breaking into the apartment, they'd find Starlet Wahu lying on a pool of blood and with several stab wounds. An immediate search for Matara would immediately commence, and a few hours, John Matara would be located in a nearby clinic undergoing treatment for a stab wound on his stomach. John Matara would later on indicate that he had had an altercation with Starlet Wahu, and Starlet Wahu had tried to attack her with a knife, and in the process, he had defended himself. However, several details would come out clear, including the fact that Starlet Wahu would be located close to the door, indicating that Starlet Wahu had tried to escape. Immediately after this incident, several ladies would come out and indicate that they had had a very bad experience with John Matara, and one of the ladies indicated that at one point John Matara held a knife at his neck and even burnt her using a hot iron on her thigh. John Matara would lure ladies into an Airbnb and he'd have intercourse with these ladies, and immediately after having intercourse, he would immediately change and demand that the ladies send all their money in their M-Pesa accounts, in their bank accounts, to his phone number. Based on these accounts, it is very likely that John Matara, immediately after having intercourse with Starlet Wahu, he would proceed to demand that Starlet Wahu sent him all the money that she had in her accounts. John Matara would most likely have proceeded to threaten Starlet Wahu, just as he had previously done with previous incidents, but this time Starlet Wahu was a different person. Starlet Wahu tried to defend herself, and in the process, Starlet Wahu would end up trying to fight for her life and losing her own life. But John Matara would also end up with a stab wound, and that stab wound is what led him to immediately leave the apartment and go to the nearby clinic. One important thing to notice with this specific incident is that immediately John Matara left the apartment, he locked the door from the outside, which meant that even if Starlet Wahu was alive at that specific time, no one would really get to her immediately and take her to hospital. Based on this account, it is quite obvious that John Matara intended to ensure that Starlet Wahu was completely dead, because if Starlet Wahu was alive at that specific point, she would at least have indicated what have happened, and that would probably have looked very bad for John Matara. As we speak right now, the case of Starlet Wahu is currently ongoing, and John Matara is currently being held at a police station in Kenya, and there are very many things that have taken place, including John Matara requesting for a bail for him to go out and be a free civilian and handle the case while being outside. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you're new to this channel, can you consider hitting the subscribe button, follow us on this platform you're watching this video, and you will get to watch more crime videos like this.